Ready for that palate cleanse? Here's the final instalment of our breakdown of episode 614. Palate cleanse. Okay, so what do you think of Maya's initial call and the voicemail that she left with the union?
Well, what she was going to do with it at that point, I don't know. But I am, however, glad she took it to Andy, and I loved seeing Andy's reaction when she did.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm proud of where she's going. I'm proud of the conversation she had with Karina.
Yeah.
I'm proud that she went to Herrera, and I'm proud that she went to the chief.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of like, what? When she said, can someone call me back? I was like, Maya. And then
Yep.
stuffing the envelope back in her locker when Karen came for their date. But Danielle put a shift in again, didn't she? With her comedy eye acting, her expressions throughout that whole Pam scenario cracked me up.
Yes.
I noticed 5 WTF moments that just made me like crease up. And what I thought was brilliant though was that Maya waited until WTF moment 4 before she bit. So the first crack out of the box was when they walked in and Pam went, "Oh, hi, Karina. Thank you for coming." And because of her, I guess, familiarity, that was Maya's first, like, huh?
Yeah.
Then when Pam said to Ben, "Did I meet you at the clinic?" Again, it was a huh from Maya.
Mm-hmm.
And then my favourite one was when Pam said, "Oh, I remember you telling me when we went out for drinks." And the look exchanged between Maya and Karina when Pam says that. You get a subtle head jerk from Maya, and then Karina, the expression on her face initially is like, "Oh, fudge."
Yep.
And then she looks to Maya as if to say, "Yeah, you heard that right, but not right now." There'll be a discussion, but not right now. But yes, you heard that. But it's not until Pam says, "I thought we were friends," that Maya actually bites and we get the, "How's your arm, Pam?"
Yep.
But she did really, really well. And then the last one was when Karina said to Pam, "I know you, I know how strong you are, I know how much you want this, blah, blah, blah." And
Yep.
Maya again, her little face is just like, huh? What the hell? But I think just amazing subtleties in that scene. And as well, when Ross and Sullivan come in, and Maya looks from Sullivan to Ross when they arrive together. That was a great little moment as well that Maya clocked it like, oh, these two again. So there were just some really, and there was another great little subtlety. You know, the montage when the baby's actually being born and they cut Pam's arm free from the machine. And obviously she's got no feeling in her arm. So Karina places the baby in Pam's functioning arm, and Ross takes the numb arm and places it over the baby.
I love that.
Yeah. And there was a very like subtle exchange between Maya and Karina, just that very subtle smile. You can just see like a subtle smile in Karina's eyes because obviously she's got the face covering on. But yeah, I thought that was brilliantly done, that whole little montage and the little subtleties there. Yeah, and we talked about before the emotional maturity of Maya when Karina says she was lonely and needed someone to talk to. And just, instead of drawing her into an argument and acting jealous, she just lets it go and initiates a conversation of her own with Karina. So not only engaging Karina, but really letting her into what's going on in her life, which I think was super important. And I think Stefania had some brilliant shining moments of her own as well. When Maya said, "I really want my job back," and Karina's face is just like, here we go again. Nothing has changed. Here we go again. And then the enormous exhale and like that very subtle smile when Maya says, "But not like that." I just thought that they had some really shining moments. And then Danielle again, like a very soft expression on Maya's face when Karina says, "Your partner reflects back the best version of you." It was just great. And how cute was that? That Karina says, "This is why you trust your partner." So again, everything is like present tense. So we know that we're not 100% back to normal, but Karina fully intends for that to be where they end up. Like there's no
Yeah.
ambiguity, is there?
No, I agree. It was kind of the first that we've gotten that things are on their path to normalcy.
Yeah. And as you pointed out, even physically, Maya initiates the kiss, but it's also Maya that pulls away. And Karina would have kept going, but it was Maya that's respecting the boundaries there. But I just thought it was brilliant. And what did you think? So Twitter, I ventured onto Twitter again. I did it. Why do I keep doing it? But I ventured onto Twitter again, and people were slating the angle and the distance of the kiss.
Oh yeah, they didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I didn't mind. I thought it was absolutely fine, and I actually didn't think that the kiss was the most intimate part of that scene. I'm sweating again. The because my, Tiffany, my love was pure. My my love for Karina and then for Stefania was pure. It was pure. And then she did the thing. It was the naughty. I'm literally sweating. It was the naughtiest thing I've ever seen pre Watershed. The that where she leaned she leaned in and faked as if she was going to kiss her again, and then said maybe and backed off.
And bit her lip.
That was so.
Yeah, she bit her lip, and then she said, "Call me."
It was so naughty. That was so naughty, and I had impure thoughts. So I'm telling you, there would have been straight women and gay men globally questioning themselves at that moment. I swear it. It was so naughty.
No comment. I'm not going to comment on whether or not I experienced that urge or desire to go down that road.
Fifth mate, safest route. I would love to know if that was a Stacey K. Black direction or if that was another Stefania special.
If I had to bet money on it, I would say the lip bite was totally Stefania all day
What
long.
about the rest of it? What about the lean in?
Stefania.
Literally, how does a person get that close to another person's face on purpose without touching? I mean, she must have great depth perception.
Well, because they all know how much they mean to us, right? And so I think they try to give us as much as they can.
Yeah.
And so I would have to think that that came from them.
Mm-hmm. You're probably not wrong.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, you're not. You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. Anyway, I need to move on from here. Um, so they, although the one thing that I will say about it was we never got to see their actual first kiss, and since this was their first date, we kind of got to see their first kiss.
Yeah, for sure.
Not a bad one to start off on. Right, moving on, moving on, moving on. The last bit of business I think that we've got is Maya and Andy, which you touched upon briefly when you said about you were proud that Maya took their pictures to Andy. So she takes Dixon's little blackmail package to Herrera because she says that she's got some ideas of what to do with it, but she thinks that Herrera ideas will be better than hers. And bless her, she warns Andy that she won't like it. And then Andy doesn't like it. She's absolutely incensed that Sullivan's been lying to her face and that he's jeopardized the house. And that's where we kind of leave things with them. And one of our listeners, actually, that still blows my mind that I say that. One of our listeners got in touch, but one of our listeners, my instinct is to call her Mina, but it has two N's. So I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but is it Mina? But she got in touch to say that that was actually her favorite scene of the whole show, was the Andy and Maya scene. And I have to say it was one of mine too, because that's the first time that Andy and Maya have had this level of interaction in as long as I can remember. Same for you?
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, earlier in the Beanery, they had a really nice scene together, right? Which you talked about when Andy said, about their first date is as weird as hell, but I like it. And now they're having this nice interaction again. And I actually really loved the physical connection, the fact that they did the little hand hold. That kind of made it kind of more special as well, I think, to show their connection. And it kind of reconnected Andy and Maya because, I mean, I'm sure it'll become more evident to us when we go back to season 1, but they were so close, and a few times Andy's said, speaking about Maya, said, that's my best friend. But it seems that there's been a bit of a disconnect, well, since the beginning of season 5, really, I would say. I think it's been a while since we've really seen it be evident that they're friends. So I loved all of their interaction, and I actually thought it would have been less powerful if they hadn't had that physical touch as well. And again, I wonder if that was scripted or if that was Stacey K. Black.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that last scene with Maya and Andy. They're not 100%, but it kind of showed very similar interactions from the past, trust from the past, and
Yeah,
even, comedy from the past, and bringing each other down from high places from the past,
yeah,
and just kind of really showing that rapport and that trust. I think that Maya made a good choice going to Herrera. I am glad that she discussed it with Karina first.
yeah,
Um, but I loved that scene all the way around. I loved that we got to see Maya being the calm, kind of rational one, and Andy being like the I'm gonna kill him. I just need a minute, but I'm gonna kill him.
yeah,
Just getting that kind of reaction from her. So I loved that scene all the way around. It was beautifully done.
yeah. And it was just, I think, really important to get that connection back because, funnily enough, we were just saying, weren't we, the other day that we missed sort of all the all girls together stuff, and they had that really great scene. I think it was, I want to say maybe like episode 3 of the first series, where Andy, Vic, and Maya are all on the porch drinking together, and I think we're missing that. So it was great to have that moment between Maya and Andy, and I'm hoping that we can have some of that back.
Me too.
I just thought it rounded it off really nicely. What was just
Yeah.
an absolutely outstanding episode for me.
Awesome. Definitely a good episode. Cannot wait for tonight's episode. Because we're already here.
Yeah.
So
Did you see any themes emerge in this episode?
maybe giving up old ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Theo needs to give up old ways to be a better captain.
Yes.
Sullivan's trying to give up old ways because he feels it will help him get battalion chief quicker. Maya has a chance to use the pictures to give up old ways to get the job she wants.
Yep.
Um, Travis gave up old ways of turning down Mayor.
Yep.
Jack, at the end, gave up old ways of finally admitting that he hit his head so he could go to the hospital.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, there's just to me, a lot of different ways that happened.
Yeah. That works. That works for me. I thought that maybe the dumpster fire, in the way that last week's episode, I felt that the house with the crumbling foundations was almost like an allegory for the episode. I thought that maybe the dumpster fire was an allegory for this week's episode. And the way that Andy says the garbage is packed in too tightly and the fire will never burn out. And so we're just going to have to like dump it out. I thought that maybe that was speaking to how the characters have had to be in this episode. All the while their crap, for want of a better word, is densely packed and they're holding it inside themselves. The fire of their anxieties and their problems, like the problems will continue to burn, and that they need to like dump it all out and get it all out in the open so that it can be dealt with. And that's never pretty. It's going to make a big fat mess, and you'll be cleaning up that mess for a really long time,
Right.
which will be equally nauseating, but it's the only way that you're going to put out the internal fires. So I felt like through this episode, everyone was like dumping out their trash so that the fires could be extinguished. You've got Vic telling Theo in a roundabout way that he's pushing her away because she tells him he's not going to make himself very popular with people. You got Travis finally quitting the mayoral race. Ben telling Karina about his fears, getting that all out in the open. Theo getting it all out in the open that he's got a problem with Andy, that he thinks that Andy resents him, which then obviously backfires on him because she tells him that he was second choice.
Right.
Sullivan doesn't voluntarily dump his crap out on the pavement, but the news comes out of what he's done, applying for a job across state. So that all comes out and that's all spilled out to have to be dealt with. The chief lays her cards out on the table for Sullivan. Karina comes clean about Pam. Maya tells Karina and Andy about Dixon. So everyone had, up until this point, been holding in lots of secrets. There'd been sort of lies of omission. There was assumptions being made. There was resentment. But then all of this stuff just gets dumped out on the sidewalk and kind of burns itself out in this episode, I feel. So I feel like everything's kind of been burnt to the ground in this episode, and everyone's dumpster fires have been burnt out. And so everyone's kind of starting from a clean slate, I think.
Yeah, I could see that. But looking at preview for next week, I'm not sure how clean of a slate that's going to be.
Well, that's the thing. When you tip out all the trash, the fire burns out, right? But you still have the cleanup to deal with.
Right,
But,
right,
and so there's that. But I do feel like everyone in this episode, I think, kind of had like a resolution to the things that they've been going through a little bit. And so that everything's going to start afresh. There's still going to be problems, but I feel like they're going to be new problems, or, move on problems, rather than all the resentments and all the stuff that's been harbored all this time. I feel like it's going to be new stuff. So Maya's got the Dixon stuff off her chest. So now they've got a new problem. It's not Maya's problem anymore. It's going to be the chief's problem, right? So, and the chief and Sullivan were at loggerheads, but now they've both got their cards on the table. And so that's starting afresh. So there was lots of Sullivan grunting at her and her trying to get through.
right.
But now that's all resolved. He's said, well, I'm going to move across state, and then that's going to solve our problems. And she said, well, no, it's not. I love you and I want you to be here with me. But the loggerheads thing and the ignoring and all that's gone, because all of that internal turmoil has been dumped out. So now they've got to deal with the stuff that's been dumped out. Is kind of how I saw it all to be. I just think that Peter Page just absolutely smashed it out of the park, because I just feel like everyone got their problems out. Got the thing that was ailing them is like now out, has like spilled out. I felt through the course of this episode, and I just think that the next four are just going to be a wild ride to the end.
Which one does she direct? Is it this week or next week?
But next week it should be Danielle's episode,
Okay.
but it's not because of the NFL draft. It's not on, so you got to wait till the 4th for Danielle.
Are you serious?
I'm deadly serious.
So we have no Station 19 next week?
No, you got your big men in all the padding.
That's mean.
It's very mean. But anyways, best growth in this episode. Who do you think grew the most?
I think it was Andy or Maya.
Yeah,
Andy really is trying to put aside the fact that she believes it's her house,
rightly so.
but instead of being bitter, she's rallying against Ruiz and trying to make the team rally around him.
Yeah.
And Maya could have pushed a lot harder than what she did, and she didn't.
I said Maya, because the way she handled the Pam situation, she was very level-headed, was very pragmatic, took a pragmatic and it affected her a little bit. You could see the jealousy there, but she didn't fly into a rage. She handled it beautifully, I thought. And then the Dixon situation, again, she opened up to her wife, she opened up to Andy, and also she didn't let herself get carried away with Karina. She pulled back physically. She didn't bundle her into a bunk and have a wicked way with her. So I thought that Maya, for me, had the best growth throughout the episode.
Okay.
And then, which was your favourite scene?
For comedic relief, I liked when Andy was like, I like it. It's weird as hell, but I like it.
Yeah.
For some reason, that just made me crack up laughing.
No, it was good. And like the hushed voice as well, like the, okay,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
bizarre, cool.
Yeah.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
So that was yours. Well, you know me.
What was yours?
Well, I'm Team Marina, right? So
Right.
it had to be their talk at the end. And it's just funny as naughtiness. But impure thoughts. But taking that out of the equation, I actually really liked Maya and Andy at the end. That felt really special to me. I loved that.
I agree.
Best line / dialogue for you?
Would have to be Andy. Either two of them. Either Andy saying when the guy says that his garbage truck is on fire. Either her saying Like, of course it is. Or her saying to Theo, I think the words you're looking for are thank you and walking away. Either one of
Yeah,
those.
that was class.
Uh-huh.
Well, for comedy value, I quite liked "How's the arm, Pam?"
Yeah.
The way she delivered it, just thought that amused me. She didn't care how Pam's arm was. She didn't care.
No.
Um, "You're My Conscience" was gorgeous. Might have borrowed that for my own purposes.
Yeah, you used that one recently.
But I loved the monologue
Uh-huh.
in the car, Sullivan, when she was saying, "I love you. I want to marry you. I want to declare my love for you. I want to spend my life with you." I loved that. And we all know how I feel about Mel Dandridge, so that will come as no surprise to anybody. So yeah, that was it for me. And your most gifable moment?
Either either Andy and Travis both looking up when Eli walks in, like with their flirty hi looks on their face,
Yeah.
or Jack falling and banging his head, and or the shoulder scrunch bite lip from Stefania that's followed up with a maybe. What do you got?
Vic tap dancing across reception was quite cute. But that could have been Vic in any episode, to be fair. That's just a very Vic
Yeah,
thing to do. And whilst it was a gifable moment, I think I would struggle to place an episode by that gif because it just could have been Vic being Vic in any given episode. Whereas the maybe, I would always be able to place that in that episode. But yeah, those two moments for me, I think, would make great gifs. So, what about things you're looking forward to tonight?
Paris Barclay tweeted,
Yes, he did.
yeah, I'm looking forward to the continuation of Marina. I'm looking forward to what's going to
What's he getting
happen
flack
with
for?
the
See,
pictures
this
being
is why I
given to
don't go on
Ross
bloody
and the
Twitter.
next
What's
steps
who's
in captaincy. And I don't think Theo's going to be captain that much longer. And so are they going to bring somebody else out, or are they finally going to give Andy the chance that she deserves? So a lot about that, but that's about it.
I'm looking forward to seeing the continuation of their relationship tonight as well. I'm also looking forward to the Chief Ross stuff. And I was a little bit concerned for Ben having seen the promo, actually, because the episode tonight is called What Are You Willing to Lose? And it says that a shoddy structure poses a dangerous challenge for our heroes, leaving Ben with a difficult choice to make. Maya and Karina work to get their relationship back on track. Oh, the other thing, one of the guest stars tweeted pictures from Joe's bar. So the date has to be Maya and Karina back at Joe's where it all started, right?
Right.
Karina's trousers are looking a little bit worse for wear, and there appears to be blood on Maya's jumper, so it looks like things don't necessarily go smoothly, but that should be fun. So yeah, Karina and Maya work to get their relationship back on track while Natasha must decide what or whom she wants to prioritize. It seemed from the preview that Ross was skeptical as to why Maya wasn't using the pictures to her advantage. But then it would be good for the chief to see Maya's emotional growth in that situation, I think. And maybe that will lead into a legitimate way to perhaps for her to get her captaincy back or something, maybe. I don't know. But it didn't seem like Ben had a difficult choice to make, did it? It looked like Theo or the team had a difficult choice to make from the promo because Ben was trapped in a building and Theo was calling for a tactical retreat. So it'll be good to see what happens there with Ben being left inside or not. But yeah, so I think there's lots to be excited for tonight, and especially in light of how everything moved on last week. So I'm just excited in general. And as we know, Paris Barkley, it's always brilliant when Paris Barkley is involved. And Xavier Sinnott co-wrote this one. And he's given us some corking scripts before, hasn't he? So yeah, what did we say about Paris? He's great with the boom bangs and the tenders.
Yeah, and the tenders. Yep.
So yeah, so I'm looking forward to all of it. All of it.
Okay, I hope it doesn't let us down.
Me too. Well, what time is it there?
It's 8:41.
Oh, crikey. So we're into the 12-hour countdown.
Yes.
There you go. Not too long to wait.
Which is just me staying awake and not randomly falling asleep all day.
Well, I tell you what, let's call it a day. You go for a nap, and we will reconvene when we've seen 6:15. Wait, that sounded like Beckett's. We're going to cut that bit out. That sounded like Beckett's time to lean, time to clean 19. And I had
Yeah.
absolutely no intention of doing so. I'm more a Limerick girl. But no, let's call it a day so you can go nap. And I will look forward to your text with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Last week, after the Marina kiss, you sent me 5 thumbs up and a smiley emoji with heart eyes.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to an equally appropriate emoji.
Okay. I'll work on it. I'll
Yeah.
pre-search out the emojis beforehand.
Excellent. So I can try and guess what's happened
Yeah.
by the emojis. Let's do that.